Okay, Hujambo folks, welcome back to Cody's Silly Little Vlogs. First off, I just wanted to introduce you, perhaps long overdue, to my loyal steed for this particular adventure. Right behind me, this is the Honda 250 XLR, and look, it's 42, just like me. What a coinky dink. If you know me, you're probably surprised to see me riding something with knobby tires. But we'll get into the hows and whys about how I made that decision later on in the video. First off, I just wanted to mention it's almost definitely the romantic perspective of ignorant first world dwellers to want to live in one of these, beautiful little huts on the beach that we always end up renting when we come to these sorts of places. If you've never had the pleasure, I highly recommend it. And to be honest, I look forward to someday being able to perhaps trade in my spacious, well-insulated, fully enclosed, Wi-Fi enabled palatial estate back in the States for someplace much smaller with a mosquito net over the bed and perhaps some drips from the roof in the rainy season. But the more I think about it, the more I look forward to it. Now, please don't think that I don't appreciate the advantages of growing up where I did. I wouldn't be able to do this without the advantages of growing up with the educational system we've had, the support system of my community, and the friends I make in these places pretty rarely have the opportunity to be able to enjoy those sorts of luxuries of travel and exploration. Honestly, many people in the developing world don't have the luxury of electricity in their home or a toilet that flushes. And I don't mean to take those things for granted, but if I were to compare the average happiness of a person in America to the average happiness of a person, say, here in Zanzibar, I'm not sure we would come out ahead, honestly. I mean, obviously we have more stuff, so much more stuff, but it just ends up being more stuff to worry about, more stuff to guard, more stuff to aspire to have, a vicious cycle of acquisition. And sure, we have immensely bigger homes that take immensely more time to clean and maintain, and many people can't even afford their own home. In the developing world, it's pretty common for people to live together with their family and to be forced to try and maintain those relationships. They don't have the luxury of putting their parents off in some home somewhere for old folks and having somebody else wipe their bottoms. Here, you take care of your family or they starve on the street or beg or whatever happens to people without any sort of a social safety net. And I mean, maybe that's what makes people seem so much kinder in these sorts of places. They've worked so much harder to develop the relationships and to develop the skills to maintain relationships with other human beings. You can't just shut the door on your family and run away from them. And I think that, although I, as a tourist, I'm obviously a source of income. There's been times when you might feel like a walking ATM or, feel that you have been taken advantage of. It takes some effort to break down those barriers and to begin to relate to people in a distant land just as another human being. But I think it's worth the effort because I suppose that's probably the takeaway for this particular vlog. I think it's human nature to take things for granted. To take your family for granted, to take your luxurious motorcycle for granted, to take your affluent lifestyle for granted. Back home in Minnesota, it's almost a religion to complain about the road construction, the potholes, and to just generally complain. But trust me, if you've never traveled in the developing world, you have never seen rough pavement. If for no other reason than that, you should consider planning yourself an adventure off of the beaten trail. I promise you that when you go home, you will be a changed person. I want to kiss the pavement every time I return to America. Seriously. And don't even get me started on how much I appreciate good cell phone service. So, please, if you learn nothing else from these little videos I like to make, be thankful for all that you have. But understand, it's probably all a lot more than you need. And once you can embrace that thought, you'll be a lot happier for it. Remember, folks, we're all in this together, and I'm pulling for you.